evening and welcome to the Minions of the Zoo mostly peaceful Saturday edition. I'm your host and keeper of the Harry channel, and with me tonight are Minions Geodes.
Hello.
And Serenity Star 13.
Hello, hello.
And I think we're going to get a late Sora Luna once they run out of delicious food in Vancouver and she decides to show up.
Mm-hmm.
She's probably off eating somewhere fancy.
I can imagine.
I don't know. I think my imagined life for Sora is probably more fabulous than her actual life. I feel like I can live vicariously through her because all I've done for the last week is just work. I have a big project coming up next week and I want to not screw it up because it'll make me look bad publicly. Yeah. I have to basically move everything from several racks of equipment from one data center to another data center. And it's going to be an enormous pain in the ass.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. The amount of spreadsheets and planning and documenting and stuff you have to do before that is just insane. And getting all the contracts in place and finding out at the last minute that, oh, so you ordered like the network, but you didn't actually tell somebody to connect the network to the cabinets. Oh, that's great. This is going swimmingly. So how's your week going, Serenity?
It's good.
Good.
Mostly just dealing with it being 9,000 degrees outside. That's mostly what I'm dealing with.
Well, it was 9,000 degrees in most of California, but I decided to stay on the Central Coast where it's been a pleasant 70.
There you go.
And people keep telling me how miserable it is. And I'm like, oh, yeah, you're absolutely right. I don't want to tell them when I'm talking to them. Oh, no, I just decided to stay home and not deal with any of this. You know, not deal with it being 106 or 104 or even 98. Like just 70.
It's like we're good.
Yeah. Well, there's a point where you don't make yourself popular by rubbing it in with other people when they're suffering.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a problem. Hi, Geodes.
Hello.
How's the great state of New Mexico?
Oh, it's wonderful as usual. Actually, we've been getting a fair amount of rain, so that's nice. I'm just kind of relaxing and trying to figure out how to deal with kidnapper foxes. That's a inside joke for anyone who has played Lethal Company.
Okay.
Those rat bastards.
So is there anything new going on with all the fabs that they're building in your part of the world? Are you near any of that, or is that more in the Phoenix area?
I'm guessing Phoenix, because honestly, there's not a lot of reason to build stuff out here. Like there's reason to, but there's also not. It's kind of our state's a little weird like that. So I haven't heard of anything specifically, and nothing's come up in conversation. So
Weren't you guys going to get a spaceport or something?
I mean, we have a spaceport. It's a question of whether we're using it or not, and how much we're spending.
So which company flies out of this spaceport? Is it just the Bezos thing?
It's just well, not Bezos. It's who's that tech guy? He's I think it's who William Shatner went up with. I can't think of
Richard Branson's?
Yeah.
No, I
think
thought
it's
that was
his.
Jeff Bezos.
Yeah.
No, he didn't go up on Virgin Galactic. He went up on the penis rocket.
Oh, okay. I thought he went on that too. like the I don't know, but no, our guy is one of the lesser known dudes. And
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and honestly, he's the last I heard, he was talking about offshoring a good chunk of his business to the Caribbean somewhere, which is usually a great sign that things are going exceptionally well.
They're going super well.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the last I heard of that.
Yeah. So things we won't be talking about tonight.
Virgin Galactic is the one that flies out of that spaceport.
Oh, yeah. It is. Okay. So the a bunch of people are getting laid off in Silicon Valley. Tech workers. All these people said learn to code. Well, maybe you want to make sure you're doing the right kind of coding because jobs aren't going so well. So Intuit, the makers of the worst software that people pay money for, TurboTax, QuickBooks. God, I hate QuickBooks. I hate QuickBooks so much. QuickBooks is just so bad. I mean, TurboTax is usable, typically, doesn't crash too often. You only have to redo an hour or two of work every now and then. But QuickBooks is just the worst damn software. Well, they have great support, so great, in fact, that they're laying off about 10% of their workforce because they're getting ready for the AI revolution.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what did they just tell us? We're going to replace a bunch of the bad humans with worse AI. That's going to be fantastic.
It's how to be cheap and how to save money.
Yep.
That's all it is.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Good thing you guys learned how to code.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just think if you're the person who got fired from like one job, then became a coal miner, got fired from that, then went to work for Intuit and got fired from that. You just like get fired all the time because you're always like one technical change behind the curve. That would suck.
Well,
Yeah.
to be fair, the coal miners who would have learned to code, if there were even any of them that would have learned, have at this point were probably at retirement age, so they've probably gotten retired out.
Yeah,
if
let's
they were
hope so.
smart.
Yeah.
Your mic is a little quiet, Serenity.
Because they keep moving it because I'm trying to look at my screen.
Okay, because
So
I've
I
got
keep
you
moving it
turned. I've got
around.
you turned up to 200%. And you're actually a little quiet. Okay, so
Fine,
I know Sora.
Hi.
Hi, how's it going?
I was here from the beginning, totally.
Totes.
I was like, Sora's supposed
And
to be
I wasn't late because I was eating all the good food. I was late because I was drilling holes,
Ooh.
In
the power drill,
in.
in our gate on the
Nice.
outside to
Oh
move
no!
a
Why were
latch,
you drilling holes in their gate?
to move a latch
Oh
that is no
no!
longer lined, and then
Mhm.
into my IKEA bookcase because they forgot to drill 2 holes. And
Nice.
now I have because I don't have quite the right size to match what needs to go in there. I have glued the pieces in because this is the bottom one, so it will never have to be moved. Like it's not it should not be adjustable anyway. And tomorrow it will be 100% cured. I love power tools.
Well, you know
Next,
how
I'm gonna get a rotary saw and cut off my hand.
that's right. Well, what you need is like a sawzall, one of those little reciprocating things of destruction. It's not a construction tool; it's a destruction tool. They're loads of fun. You just go, this thing offends me, and I want it to be gone. Sawzall.
Oh, I took down a holly tree by myself with just a handsaw. That was fun.
So yesterday, I actually bought I bought myself a machete about 2 years ago, and I used it for the first time yesterday. I had some weeds that had gotten a little bit out of hand, and the line trimmer was just. It's like I just put 14 feet of line in you, and now you want more line. Screw this! So I went and got my machete, and started whacking the weeds with the machete, and it was pretty satisfying. Because not only can you use it to knock weeds down with just one swift motion, but you can go find a bird of paradise that needs to die and just start slicing on it. So it hacks, it slices. Machete is a great tool, I gotta say.
Dices,
Yeah.
even air fryers.
I didn't try to slice a tomato with it after it was done. So it's not a Ginzu knife.
Well, you also live in California, so it's always good to have a machete on you, just in case.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want a machete now.
Machete. No, you totally want one. Or there's another kind of nice knife. Is it kukri?
Yeah, kukri.
Yeah, that's a really nice one too.
Those ones are fun.
Yeah.
Oh, I can get a Canadian Tire.
There you
How
go.
much is it?
You better make sure you get a whetstone and sharpen that bitch.
Yeah. Well, they're easy to. They don't hold an edge, but
Shrod.
they're easy to sharpen.
18 inches, 25 bucks.
Nice.
Yeah, you're gonna want to sharpen that thing when you get it. If it's that cheap, you're gonna want to sharpen that bitch when you get it.
Yeah, it's not going to hold an edge, but it'll be easy to sharpen. Which for a tool you're going to use that way is actually what you want.
And, in case the mushroom apocalypse happens and everybody starts talking like plants, that'll help too.
No kidding. So, do you have anything to share with the class other than the fact that you're not late because of food? Your car's still running?
It's still running.
Yeah.
No,
Uh-oh.
except that my gas flap thing, like just the cover of the gas, is now fully off. Sadly.
Oh, it went flying?
No. It came off in my hand when I went to the gas station, which is fine. I just put it in
like the door flap, not the
The
little screw-in
hinge?
part.
No, the screwing part's fine and it's lockable, so
Mhm.
I don't care.
Okay.
But it obviously it doesn't look nice. But I have the pieces. So it basically the hinge rusted completely through.
Nice. Do they put salt on the roads up in Vancouver when it?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
In the
Yeah.
winter
Yeah.
and
Everything
stuff.
sucks then.
This is 20, and you think you think you wash them enough. Obviously, after 20 plus years of having the car, even with washing it after the winter melts and stuff, it wasn't sufficient. But I basically have to find a body shop. It's not high on my priorities. So,
It's not the end of
but
the world, and since you're
that is an update on the car.
Excellent. Well,
since your gas cap like locks, you're pretty
so
safe.
Yeah, it's locked. I mean, here you're more likely to get your catalytic converter stolen than glass. So
There you
nice.
go.
Well, I think I know what's going on with my car. It doesn't deal well with stop and go traffic when it gets hot. And I thought that maybe it was the electric fan. And there's 2 electric fans in my car. So one of them definitely works. I'm not so sure about the other, but I feel like I'm sort of slowly figuring out what's wrong with my stupid car.
Okay.
So I've sort of decided there's like places I'm not going to drive my car when it's over 100 degrees if there's a potential for stop and go traffic, because I've just been screwed too many times by that. The car gets very, very unhappy when it gets all the way to the top of the temperature range. It's
understand.
scary because you're thinking your car's going to die. But enough about me. Let's say hi to the people in chat. Skep is not here because he's tired and he needs to get some sleep. So let's see. Who do we have? Mashisu, Green Badger Outdoor, Sora
Beaver
Luna.
Dam's doing a drive-by.
Yep. Mike R.
Yep.
Do-do-do-do.
Richard Head.
Oh, good. Richard Head's here.
who's the Green Badger?
All right. Kiever Dam. Or it says Kiever Den Mother. I'm assuming that's
Yep.
Kiever Dam.
Yep.
Okay. Good. We haven't missed anybody. Yeah, I think a lot of people are probably still watching Monkey, or would you say Medicare was...
Medicare.
does he go
Medicare
by
stream.
Medicare or Jim, or what the hell does he call himself
Yes.
these days?
Still goes by
Weatherman.
And Weatherman, yeah.
I still miss the Internet Aristocrat.
Yeah.
That series on Tumblrisms, it's like whatever bad shit that guy does, I feel like he's just banked a lot of goodwill with me.
Honestly, I still try to find, because they get taken down ever so often,
Mhm.
and I have it downloaded. I have the Men with the Glasses series, and Tumblrism, and the Hugbox Chronicles. I have those downloaded through YouTube on my phone,
Yeah.
just because they're fun listening to as a series. But they do get those users sometimes they disappear, so you have to refine them.
Yeah.
But
The number of secret inner circle rings that he's exposed, I have garnered enough goodwill with me that, and honestly, also, I think he's held out. He stood more the test of time than some of the people who have been his detractors. So,
Mhm.
there you
I mean,
go.
this is a dude, like, he's one of the few, like, long-running ones who hasn't had PDF file stuff shown up, or lied about cancer, or, like, he's done good by himself. Like, he can be an ass, but he's an honest ass.
Well, he's a chaos god, is what he is. Okay, and if you just accept him for what he is, right? If you don't want to deal with him, just don't engage with him.
Yeah, absolutely.
But he's a chaos god.
Yeah.
If you invite him on your stream and then you get kicked off, and he's there and you have no ability to shut down your stream, bad things will happen. That's what you get for playing with the chaos god.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But so apparently there was a bad thing that happened. Somebody decided to shoot at a presidential candidate today and killed some other people behind him. And I expect in the last few hours it's pretty much been talked to death.
I mean, considering the fact there's still people streaming about it, I'm assuming it's still being talked about.
I mean, I listened to, when I saw what was going on, I listened to, this is more along the lines of where were you when it happened type of conversation. I was listening to Scott Adams.
We were playing Lethal Company.
And then I started listening to whoever was talking about it, like, Megyn Kelly was talking about it, but there was surprisingly little information. And then all of a sudden there was just this flood of completely unverified / unverifiable stuff.
Yeah.
People talking about, yeah, I saw this guy up on the roof and I was pointing and nobody was doing anything. And, you know, just there's just all this stuff, which may totally be true or totally not be true.
Yeah.
But I kind of don't want to just put more bullshit out into the universe if I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
I know it's not good.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not particularly surprised because we all kind of expected something like this would happen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the one thing we can say for sure is it wasn't a car backfiring as it drove by. Something actually happened.
Yeah, which is what some people tried to say at first. People were like, "Oh, it was a car backfiring several times." I'm like, as someone who grew up in the holler, no car backfires that much in that much of a row consistently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just doesn't happen, guys. Like, sorry.
Yeah.
That one I can call bullshit immediately.
Well, there was a bunch of stuff that happened. I mean, and it's actually the amount of time it took before it went from too soon to not too soon, where the jokes started coming out, was very, very small.
Oh yeah.
People just sort of started like almost immediately. And so like the first thing I saw that I thought was kind of funny was this, that this has been one of the worst assassination attempts in the history of assassination attempts, maybe ever. I would have never missed like that. I've shot many, many things successfully. Some have said that I'm the best at it. Sleepy Joe probably doesn't even remember what a gun is.
Well, the thing is, I think it has a lot to do. I think if they had succeeded, I think the memes would have waited a little bit longer. But because they didn't succeed, it's now we need to make fun of the idiots who planned this bullshit, even though one of them may be dead. Because so
Well,
now
also, it's a really serious thing, and that's what humor is for, to help you cope with stuff. And there's nothing about this that's in bad taste. This thing that I'm just showing.
Because we all know Trump would say that shit. We all know he would.
Of course he would, but I can't do impressions like Shane Gillis. Shane Gillis, if he was here, he could do, the perfect Trump impersonation, but I can't do that. The only impersonations I know how to do are all like racist and going to get me canceled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we don't do those.
I'm pretty good at mimicking certain types of accents. That would have been a skill about 20 years ago. Just that hairy guy's great at parties. He can talk like he speaks Hindi just so well, just fantastic. Oh, and you should hear him do the Chinaman. Oh, great. We don't live in those times.
YouTube. Thank you. Don't do this.
Well, I'm saying we don't do things like that anymore. It's just because people are kind of more aware, but also a lot more thin-skinned, and who wants to fill out paperwork, right?
Exactly.
So I don't do impersonations because the only ones I can do halfway competently I can't do. So, but the terrible people have been saying all the things that you would expect them to say. So I figured, where would I find this without having to go troll around through Twitter/X, right? So just go on to the Babylon Bee. And there's a whole bunch of leftists saying this stupid shit you'd expect them to say.
Yeah. Well, it's also the whole thing of like, it's Twitter or just online in general. I mean, you're going to get a number of people who, are
pieces of shit.
Well, I was thinking more of not the brightest in terms of putting stuff out there that maybe they won't end up wanting later on.
True.
I mean, most of these are anonymous accounts, and then also there's bot accounts and other things.
Oh yeah.
So it's like it's going to be crazy for a while.
Well, it's like I was when we were playing Lethal Company. Like I literally had a friend say basically like, "Oh, make the joke. Oh, too bad they missed," and it's not in a funny haha joke way. It's in that, too bad he missed, and I'm just like, yeah, because that's what we want. We want him martyred. And they were like, well, he's still a terrible person. And I'm like, I don't fucking care. You don't kill people. There's other ways to do it. Unless he's actually Hitler, like actually doing the Hitler things, sit down and shut up. Like, calm down. The minute you start asking for people's deaths is the minute I don't trust you with anything anymore.
Yeah, and I don't censor the panel very much, but there's a tendency amongst ourselves and with people listening to want to really kind of gin up the hyperbole, for shock value, because that's what people like. It's like, hey, you thought that was bad. How about this? And then we say something terrible. And then the next person says something more terrible. And a lot of podcasts amongst people I even like is nothing more than a small handful of people just trying to outdo each other saying terrible things.
Oh, yeah.
And then the next day rolls around and it's like, I said, what? Well, it seemed like a good idea at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, is that
And I
what-
try not to do that stuff.
Yeah.
If at all possible.
It's just, it's kind of, and the thing is, this isn't new. This has been going on for humans for quite a while. It's just people are more willing to talk about it now, or talk about it openly now. But it's just like calling for the death of someone you don't like, or joking about the fact that that person didn't die is, you're no better than the people you claim to hate at that point.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean I won't talk to you. Doesn't mean, but it's like the worst I ever get, at least, is I say, I hope you get everything you deserve, and let fate figure it out from that point on, because it is not my job to go after you. Let the universe basically, and line them up and let the universe figure it out. Like, at that point, and it's just, I can't take, like, I take them seriously, but I can't take anything you talk about wanting peace or wanting to be accepted or not be a bully about, because bullying's bad, if that's your stance with someone you don't like, because then you're exactly like the bullies you hate.
Yeah. My silver lining take is that I'm glad people are more open about this stuff, because it also lets you know
Agreed.
when you're willing to, slam the door shut and be like, all right, we're done here. So it's like...
Thank you, Assassin, for linking the show.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Assassin.
Oh, Cannibalistic Wizard's here. My car. Excellent. People are showing up.
Joel McLaughlin's here too. We don't want to forget him.
Oh, we should tell. I don't have any good nerd stuff set up for Joel, though. I feel sad. Joel, just go look at some XKCD. That'll cheer you up.
There you go.
Always good. Or 1FTE is pretty good sometimes too. Man, nerd comics are just, well, okay. Don't do what you're about to do, Harry. Okay, so the one thing I was reminded of course, is this, because I'd only recently heard about what a mad lad Teddy Roosevelt was.
Oh yeah, Teddy Roosevelt was fucking awesome.
Well, he actually got shot before he was supposed to give a campaign speech. Yeah.
And he gave the speech and then was like da 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 da.
Theodore Roosevelt's opening line was hardly remarkable for a presidential campaign speech. Friends, I shall ask you to be as quiet as possible. His second line, however, was a bombshell. I don't know whether you fully understand that I've just been shot.
Yeah. I mean, dude was a badass. Like, an actual legit badass.
Well, he was born with sort of poor health, a weak constitution. And instead of just sitting back and going, woe's me, he's just like, no, I'm just going to be the biggest badass I can possibly be.
Oh, yeah.
He wanted a war where he could go charging up San Juan Hill. He wanted, life to be difficult and struggle and just all that sort of stuff. He embraced the shitty hand he was dealt and made much more of it than most people who were given a lot more at birth. He was a pretty remarkable man.
Well, didn't he start the national park system that we have?
Yeah, it was as if he was almost like a president from the future who just sort of ended up in the past. He had a lot of foresight for somebody who on paper might seem to have been kind of simple.
And hell, he has a national park named after him in North Dakota.
Well, the one thing I heard about him is that he really didn't want to be in charge of stuff. He really liked being like the second in charge.
Yeah.
He didn't like being the guy who was just like on the hook for stuff. He was a really interesting guy, but I don't think most people nowadays, if they got shot, would manage the level of chill that Teddy did.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's a lost art. There aren't many real badasses in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. Remarkable guy. But I feel like we need a palate cleanser. Let's see, what kind of palate cleanser do we want? Let's see. Not so much a palate cleanser, but since since Sora's here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, did we already cover this one? More OBGYNs are handling more
sure.
requests for sterilization after Roe was overturned. Because
I'm not
this
sure. I
this
don't
is like
think
a
so. I haven't-
lesbian couple, and she's worried about Roe v. Wade, and so she's getting
What
sterilized.
the hell?
Dang.
Yeah,
I mean, I suppose in the event, like, so basically in the event of an R-word incident,
yeah,
I'm guessing.
that's what Plan
That is
B's
so
for,
fucking
though.
dark.
That's
Holy
but doesn't
shit.
Plan B sort of fill that net niche? No?
Well, yes, no. So it's not an abortive. It just prevents
Gestation.
attaching.
Yeah, yeah.
No, like if it's already impregnant, if the egg's already fertilized, good luck. You have to go a different pill. But it just kind of basically makes it inhospitable for the swimmers to make it there. But it doesn't cause, if you're already pregnant, this doesn't do anything.
But you
That's
had
why
the
you have to
same.
take it immediately.
Yeah, well, you saw that you had the same reaction I did, though, right? Why is it that lesbians are worried about this?
Yes. That's why I thought, is it just because she believes that this may happen to her, and because she lives in a place where it's so, what a dark,
She doesn't
dystopian,
live in a high. She
horrifying
does
way
not live in a
to
high crime place. It's like Montana or something. Yeah, she lives in Montana. Okay.
It just seems a bit okay.
It feels more like I really feel like being in the news. So me and my wife are gonna. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so there's also this.
Listen, like, you know what would really annoy me if I was, because there are so many young women with debilitating, like, endometriosis and PCOS and other stuff like that, to a point where they could benefit from this, like from a hysterectomy or something like that. Okay, and they are being told by the professionals who can help them, but you're so young, you may want kids. Yeah, but the very nature of something like endo scars you up to the point that you may not ever be able to have kids because of that.
Right.
So even if you want your own biological children, you may never, even through IVF and through everything, you may never actually be able to carry it if it's so severe in that particular person. And if they start giving, like, a same-sex couple like this, yeah, sure, we'll sterilize you, or we'll help you, we'll do whatever, and then in the same breath say to a hetero girl who is in desperate need of something like this, because basically every time she has her period, she's 1 foot in the grave feeling, that pisses me off.
Yeah.
You don't get to have that. If you're a gay couple, I'm sorry, you don't.
It feels like unnecessary surgery.
Not before the girl who has an actual medical condition that could benefit from the surgery.
Yeah.
But I tend to be a little bit more brutalistic when it comes to, like, who cannot have medical stuff, which is why I'm not in that level.
Well, I'm just throwing a little bit more red meat at you here. So, term gynecologist offensive according to scholars.
Of course it is.
Of course it is. Say breastfeeding, but not breastfeeding, but human milk feeding. Chest feeding, human milk feeding. Human milk provision.
Everything.
Yeah. Ugh, okay, screw these people. Moving on. And here's one more thing. This is under a section I call modern problems. I've been carrying these articles for 3 or 4 weeks now because we never get to them. We never get to them. Black girl tanning is the summer's most radical beauty trend.
Oh, God.
This kind of made my head hurt, and I was like, why? What am I missing here?
Because there's a massive amount of colorism inside the African American community, and they have been whitewashed because of the fact that they all still try to be pale, because the paler girls get more men, both non-African American men and African American men. So they think that if they, air quotes, tan, aka get darker, that somehow is a revolutionary thing, because then it cuts down on the amount of light-skinned black women. And it's like, honey, some of you are so light that if it wasn't for your hair, no one would know you were black. I think the black men will be okay. It's like, calm down.
Yeah.
You're not that desirable. Most of you aren't.
Well, I don't get to decide what people care about and what they don't care about. That's not my job, right?
Oh yeah.
I'm just looking at it going, what the hell? So as I read through this article, they're saying that a number of women have uneven skin tone, and that the whole point between tanning or spray tanning is just to sort of even everything out.
Spray tanning will even you out, but if it's pigmentation based, tanning's not going to even you out. Tanning's just going to make it more exacerbated.
It just feels like
They should just use I like using gradual
Self-tanner.
tanning creams.
Yeah.
Like the
yeah.
gradual ones, the ones that it takes like a week of putting, like, and they moisturize and it takes a week before it develops properly
Mhm.
because you are less likely to come out like green or orange or something
Yeah.
or inappropriate.
Yeah. Inappropriate.
Inappropriate shade.
would I get to use one of my accents if I did that?
You know you don't. The minute they look at your
Go
name, they'd be
full,
like, nope,
uh,
you white.
Go full Justin Trudeau.
There you go.
The assassin has a good question. Are they forcing the light-skinned black women to do this? I don't think they, as in a collective, but I believe
There's
if
probably
you
shaming
kind of
going
fall
on.
down the rabbit hole, yeah, TikTok and stuff like that. I'm sure
Mhm.
there's a lot of like
Weird
people who are
social
saying the only
pressure.
reason you're light
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
is because of colonialism and you are oppressing your sisters through your
'Cause
actions or
how
something
dare
like that.
But more
Or
melanin
or
puts you in
somehow
touch
they'll
with
say
your.
something like you're going against culture, right?
No, but you get your
by
superpowers from
pretending you're
melanin,
white.
right? So the more melanin you have, the more pyramid building power you've got to work with.
Oh no, the funniest thing I ever saw was like a clip, and they were they were like, melanin comes from the pine cone shaped gland in your brain, and I was like, that's melatonin, you dumbass. Melatonin comes from that, not melanin. What the fuck?
There's
And
a
I just-
Terrence Howard behind every corner, isn't there? Just like you go
Oh.
around a corner and there's some midwit or
I'm
half
like,
wit.
oh god, it's like Jesus, you were not
That's-
kings. Even white people, not everyone was kings. Stop it! Stop it!
People
stop
need to
it.
worry way more about their individual contribution and not so much
Yes.
try to rely upon whatever their lineage is.
It's like, okay, your ancestor was a king 3,000 years ago. Who gives a flying F?
Teddy Roosevelt was born a wimp and he turned
Yeah.
himself into a badass.
That created so much stuff.
That's the lesson. If you're born
Exactly.
disadvantaged, don't whine about it. Basically,
Yeah,
do the
do
work and
something
turn it
about it.
around.
It all started when the school kids kept chanting "Teddy, Teddy, Teddy" in the schoolyard, and that's when he chose violence.
He hulked out and beat the crap out of people.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I think he was a tall man, too.
Let's see here if I can find what I'm looking for.
How tall were you, Teddy?
So let's see under good news. Let's see. Is it nice news or good news? Where is it? So many things. Let's see. Bird brains, space, nice news. Now
Oh,
there
no,
are
Teddy was
people.
short.
There
Damn.
are people who obviously can't. They get a bad lot. They just get screwed by Mother Nature or whatever. And
Hi, Costin.
you just want to hope that they're good enough, that they're lucky enough that they have parents who kind of can take care of them. So go away. Okay. So have you guys heard about Morgan's Wonderland? It's a
Ooh,
theme
that
park
actually
in
looks
Texas.
That
Yeah.
looks
So
interesting.
essentially, a father had a daughter who was developmentally challenged. She's permanently going to have sort of the mental capacity of a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
And he found that it was hard for her to have a good time. He'd try to take her places. So he ended up selling his business and creating like this big ass theme park and naming it after his daughter and making the whole thing completely accessible to people. Now, you can go there if you're sort of handy capable or whatever the politically correct term is for it. But for people who are handicapped and stuff, he set this thing up. So they've got like this thing for zip lines. Because remember, I made fun of the spring swings earlier, and you were telling me how awesome they were,
Yeah.
at the park. But I'm not
Oh,
all
yeah.
about that. I mean, for people who
I know.
actually need it. So here's like their version of the zip line thing. And everybody uses the funky ass chair and stuff. And it looks like it's a pretty cool park. I've got a little bit of video here.
Morgan Hartman was born with physical and cognitive disabilities. For years, though, she
Her
lacked
mom,
a diagnosis.
I mean, her dad loves her,
One
though.
thing she did have
yeah.
was a happy spirit.
And a rich
Her
dad.
dad, Gordon
Yeah,
Hartman,
really.
never wanted to see that spirit dulled. But unfortunately, at times it was.
In 2006, we were on a family vacation where I watched Morgan not be able to participate in a pool activity with 3 other children, and it was simply because she was not able to be verbal. It almost puts a lump in your throat because it gives you a very sad feeling.
Yeah.
All Morgan wanted to do was to participate. She just wanted to play.
After seeing his daughter excluded, Hartman started on a quest to create a space where no one felt left out. His idea? An inclusive theme park.
Look, they have regular swings, though. I just want to point that out.
They probably have the other type of swings because you can see them in the background, smartass.
Oh yeah, here's the
Okay,
other type.
no.
Here's the other type of swings for, so you can swing on your wheelchair and stuff, and
Yeah.
and they
That's actually really cool.
So you know what's cool though is that even if because water rides and stuff, wheelchairs, electric ones don't get along with water so much.
Yeah.
They actually have special wheelchairs that you can go in so that you can go on the water rides. They're pneumatically powered, so essentially they have like a
Nice.
compressed air supply, and so they let you use like their wheelchair and not have yours turn into a Tesla car fire.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
It is pretty cool. It's like I want to, and the thing is, like with the bakery story, here's another good dad.
Yeah.
Men get so much crap thrown at them all the time
Oh, yeah.
that you see guys like this giga chad of a dad who did this for his daughter, and it's like, yes, dads are pretty awesome sometimes.
Oh, yeah. Did it say anywhere how much it costs to get in? Because that would be like, because I wonder if it's like one of those things that it's a lower cost, so it has to get like subsidized by something else, or if it's a little bit higher cost because it's meant to go help the park and keep it up and running, that kind of stuff.
I don't know. I haven't looked at their books. I heard that they were using QuickBooks to do their accounting. Maybe they were going to go bankrupt. Like, you're looking it up, right?
Yes, I'm just ignoring you now.
It's filed under
Harry-
nice news, not under let's look for
Oh, they
charity
have a
fraud
train
news.
too. Oh,
Yeah.
that's adorable. I love trains. Anyway,
Harry,
the tickets aren't bad. It's $40.
Yeah, it's not unreasonable considering what Dismal Land costs. What, Geodes?
I'm going to petition
For?
to have a bunch of sunfish painted all over
Yeah.
the swing area.
Yeah.
Just for you. Just
Yeah.
for you, Harry.
Thanks for that.
Let's see, how big
So the 2024 season pass, so full access to Morgan's Wonderland and Morgan's Inspiration Island, which means unlimited visits, 10% discount on food and merchandise, 10% discount on weekday cabana reservation, and 2 free bring a friend single day dual park tickets, $55.
Yeah, it's not bad.
There you go.
And then there's Morgan's Inspiration Island and Morgan's Wonderland, which is 2 different parks. And that one's there is no season pass for that, but you can get citizenship stuff. And like Mondays, you can bring a friend for free in June and July,
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. This is a really nice place.
Yeah.
You can donate, so people can. I'm sure that's another way they make money. You can donate towards the park.
Yeah, but
It's
but it's nice that
and they have other programs.
yeah, it's nice that they have because they have Morgan's Sports, Morgan's Camp. Ooh, that's a nice camp.
Yeah.
That is nice.
You know how hard it is to find nice news? There are about 60
Yeah, this
things in the
is- this
spreadsheet,
is-
and then there's just this. This is like the one really nice thing.
But it's one of those things where it's kind of like it sounds really mean to say, but it's like I understand that you want to be able to interact in the world as it is, and I get that, and I feel bad for them, but it's like there are so many people with so many different varying levels of ability / disability that it's very hard to accommodate all of them.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where it's kind of like I understand you want to be able to go to Universal or Disney World and all this kind of stuff, but it's like you doing that can sometimes hurt the other people who don't have the ability to be accommodated. So it's nice that there's something that is purely built for them, that has people who work there who know how to interact, who probably know what the signs are from what it says on the website. They have people who know ASL, so almost all of their staff knows how to speak sign language in case they're nonverbal, and they do know how to speak sign language.
Mm-hmm.
So this is really cool. And respect to the dude.
Yeah.
Respect.
He's a good dad. He's not just a good dad, he's a great dad.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
like they got Morgan's Camp. They also have an assistance center that's there to help. Looks like it's help train and teach people how to like be better at helping, and Morgan Sports. This way they can play in sports.
Oh,
It's really cool.
yeah. When I heard about it for the first time, I'm like, yeah, this is awesome. This needs to.
I wish it was in a cooler state than Texas, because that's really hot to have to go to that state during the summertime. But
Well, you don't have to go when it's 1,000 degrees in Texas.
oh, I know, but still.
You could just go in like the fall.
I think we need to have Dankula go and review it because he enjoyed being in Texas heat so much last time. He really,
I assume that's sarcasm. He's Scottish.
Yeah.
He's not one of those, T.E. Lawrence types, is he?
Well, he did a video where he when he was talking about traveling through the United
probably
States, and
almost died.
he put footage of the sun up when he started talking about Texas. So there you go.
Yeah.
I nearly died.
Well, you know what else? What else is a great place to visit?
What?
The International Space Station.
Which is
Starliner.
sadly,
When will
yes.
Starliner come home? Boeing and NASA still don't know.
Oh dear.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
they're
they had
fine.
5 helium leaks, and they've been testing the thrusters, and they're finding that the thrusters that control where the hell it goes are overheating. So this is a quite the little conundrum they're in. I'm almost wondering, what are their options? Risk it, just kind of go YOLO and get in it and try to come back down.
risk and biscuit.
Maybe they could send another capsule up on autopilot that has all these issues fixed. That might be an option, and then just have the other one come in on autopilot and hope that it doesn't burn up. Or SpaceX could save their asses and just send a capsule up, and then they could take a SpaceX thing back down. Now, I think that's really something that Boeing doesn't want to do, but
Well, yeah.
really, like, what do you do when you're on the International Space Station and just 2 people show up and just sort of overstay their welcome? You kind of go, well, your name's getting added to the chore thing, and you've got lavatory duty this week, and then you just start deciding who gets to do kitchen duty and whatever.
Well, I mean, you can't exactly space them.
No, you can't wrap them in bubble wrap and
mean-
kick them out the airlock.
I mean, you can, but
There
it's
you
not
go.
going to end well.
Happy trails. Halo.
What are they gonna do? Come up here and stop us? Like, come on.
Yeah.
I'd put the space station in retrograde and pull it into retrograde for sure.
Yeah. I
Pull
mean,
that bitch down.
because they could always just get in a Soyuz capsule
I
and
know
come
what'll
down.
happen.
What?
Uh-oh.
Because they're the last and they're just like guests, they get eaten first.
There you go.
Fair.
That's the horror movie rule. That's the horror movie rule.
Yeah. Good times. So,
Hey.
so that's a thing that's happening. Boeing is just doing fantastically.
Yeah, there's a lot of bad luck, isn't there?
Yeah.
They're
So
not having a good year.
Tesla had a little oopsie. A rapid, unexpected disassembly occurred in the final stage of a Falcon 9 rocket. So it was delivering 20 Starlink satellites into orbit, and so the booster stage had already separated and was going back for a landing. That part's fine, but the last stage that does the last part of the orbit has engines, the same Merlin engines, but they're optimized for vacuum. Essentially meaning that the shape of the bell nozzle is a little bit different because you get optimal thrust with a slightly different shape because there's no air pressure. But anyway, that's not neither here nor there. But they have far fewer engines on that final phase, right? The big booster stage has a whole bunch of Merlin engines in it. This top stage, if you lose one engine, that's not good because that's like a big percentage of what you've got to work with. And in this case, they not only lost it, but it blew up. And so they were able to get some of the satellites partway into orbit, and they were going to try to use the ion thrusters to get them into a stable orbit. But they figured that's just like, well, we're just doing this so we say we did everything we could do. It's just not going to happen. So for the time being, the Falcon 9 is not going to be launching or anything probably with a Merlin engine in it until they figure out what the hell happened. So I guess you guys are just going to be on the International Space Station for that much longer. And oh, by the way, you won't be getting any food deliveries from us. It'll be fine.
They'll just send up the old Apollo 11 shuttle.
Yeah. So SpaceX has been getting in a little bit of hot water because it turns out their big, massive rockets are much bigger than what they used. Like, for instance, Starship. It has so much more thrust than what they originally looked at when they did the environmental impact reports that it's screwing up the surrounding area. And some people are trying to decide, I mean, the government trying to decide if they want to care about this. It apparently destroyed 9 birds' nests. So Elon Musk said, in his typical good with the press sort of way, that he'll just hold off on having omelets for a week, and that'll just make up the difference. I guess birds are all sort of birds.
Let's not do that. Fucking idiot.
That's not like how to do
Sorry.
public relations.
It's one of those things where it's kind of like, I respect him for what he's built,
Yep.
but motherfucker, get the goddamn fuck over yourself.
Well, he's not going full Howard
Like, can we not
Hughes.
stop putting him in front of the press thing? Like,
Yeah,
come on,
can
he has the money. Get a PR team.
Yeah.
Oh
to
no,
talk
his
to you.
ego couldn't handle that. His ego couldn't handle
Wait,
that.
do you guys know about Howard Hughes? Because he's the nearest
yeah.
analog. You know,
Oh god, yeah.
you go into
Yeah.
full, like, I'm storing my urine in jars in my penthouse.
Oh yeah, I'm
With all the
aware.
windows on the drapes closed.
What's
Go
what-
full on
it's-
eccentric billionaire.
Well, it's one of those things. Like, it's. I am very much of the mindset you can do whatever you want with your money, within reason. Like, don't buy kids and stuff like that. But at the same time, it's like, and I understand he is backed financially a lot of things, and he's a fairly intelligent man. I also respect that part. But at the same time, there's part of me that wants to walk up to him, slap duct tape on his face, and go, "Just learn to shut the fuck up sometimes." And just stop it.
Yeah. To make up for this heinous crime, I will refrain from having omelet for a week.
It's like, yes, he's like
I
every.
mean, it
he's-
is a little funny, but also no. Please
It's-
stop.
It's a bit
he
on
just
the beak.
reminds me of that 14-year-old try-hard class clown who was very intelligent, but at the same time felt the absolute need to have the last word in everything,
Yeah.
and kind of made you hate him, even if at times he was
Yeah.
right. It kind of made you hate. Well, it made me hate him, but it's one of those things where it's kind of like, just move. Just, you have other important things to do, baby. Like, goddamn.
Yeah.
I know he has the tism, cannibalistic wizard. I'm aware of that, but that doesn't make him stupid.
Well, I think back on some of the things that I thought were hilarious when I was 18, and then
yeah.
21, and even on to like 30s, right?
Yeah.
And then I look back at the old version of me and just go, God damn, what the hell was I thinking?
It's like the people who found The Hangover funny. No, I'm kidding.
Dang.
Yeah. I was.
Someone who saw Hangover 1 and 2 in the theaters. I'm not joking.
Well, there's things that you say that are very satisfying at the time.
Oh, yeah.
Very, very satisfying at the time. And then like 5, 6, 10 years go by and you go, oh God, what the hell was I doing? What?
God, I sound like those assholes who I hate. That's the one that rings your bell when you have that moment of like, oh God, I sound exactly like the idiot I just made fun. Oh God. It's that moment where it's just like, oh, I want to crawl into a hole and die. Oh.
Yeah. It's,
And we all have them, ladies and gentlemen. Every single person on this planet has had them. At least a handful of them, if not more. Because if most people have had more, they're just going to lie to you.
yeah. I mean, I just look back at old me and think, oh my God, how am I even still alive? I should have just died from embarrassment. But I have some good space news, which is the Europeans have actually finally managed to do something that they're years late doing, which is launching an Ariane 6 rocket. So their new big booster that they've needed for a long time, because I mean they've been in a bad way for quite a few years, because the Ariane 6 has just not been flying. Well, they had a
It's had a
successful
lot of
launch.
hiccups.
It's had a lot of hiccups.
Well, it's like Boeing. Everyone keeps talking about Boeing. Ariane 6 makes Boeing look like a gold star child.
Yeah. No, I think having competition in space is excellent.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So, you know, what is it? All of the different small rocket firms that are doing like really low cost to orbit things, fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
It's all good. Yeah, but Europe finally actually managed to launch an Ariane 6 rocket. So good for them.
Maybe we can get the Concorde back in some form or another. I'm still pissed they closed the Concorde. I'm still pissed about
So a lot of people have been.
What a waste of innovation.
Yeah.
I know.
A lot of people have been talking about the moon landing lately because, of course, it's sort of top of mind, as Peppermint Patty would say.
You mean Hollywood landing?
Oh yeah,
Harry.
Hollywood landing. So I'm going to put the link to this in the chat because this is a thing that the BBC put together, and this is James Burke who posted the thing Connections, and he did a little thing that actually shows how the Apollo landing was pulled off, and from the view of the people inside the LEM.
Oh God.
This is actually very well made. He is probably. Oh, gosh, when it comes to technology, he's my favorite science communicator of all time. I'm carving that out as separate from what Carl Sagan did with science. But when it comes to talking about technology and history and stuff, James Burke is the GOAT, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Something. The missile always knows where it is at all times. So
Yeah. No, but he's just so good, and I don't want to get copy struck by the BBC. But
'cause they will
here's just a
come for you.
sample.
You are at. And that's how you get a fix in space. Looks easy?
One day on the way home, after we had gone around the moon and were sort of relaxed, I got a little careless. And I started to use the program to start navigating, and I accidentally put in the wrong program, which actually put me back on the launch pad.
Yeah, basically all of the counters that were doing the inertial guidance, meaning I spent this many seconds going in this direction at this velocity, and it kept tab of that. One of the ways that Apollo would figure out where the vehicle was by keeping track over time of direction and velocity. That's how inertial navigation works. When he loaded the wrong program, all of those inertial navigation counters stopped. And effectively, the computer thought it was sitting on the launch pad.
Oh God.
Oopsie.
I think that entire cabin probably heard his butthole pucker.
But we talk about how special these Apollo astronauts were. Let's hear how he got out of the mess.
I lost all reference of our position in space, our attitude. This was not to be in the plan of the flight. We wanted to keep everything going. This was the very first flight, and naturally we didn't want to lose our reference because we could not make that safe entry back home again. And so everybody was quite concerned until I manually looked around the sky and found 3 stars that I recognized, since the computer could not tell me any longer what star was which. And I then did a manual alignment of the platform, and from then on we were back in good shape again.
Oh, his butthole was puckered.
He
the
was
entire
looking
time.
out
It
like
was
a
just-
tiny window with effectively a sextant using a slide rule to do the math.
Get it, baby.
Yeah, and then he reinitialized the computer saying, here's where you start, and then go back to the inertial navigation.
It's just. Whew.
Yeah,
When
but you could
hear
just send
things
anybody
like
up.
this,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I'm not a little surprised I will never see space. Level of math that you need.
You
like
and me
that,
both, Sora.
That
You
was
and me
never.
both.
That was never in the cards. Never in my stars, etc., etc. You know.
Oh, where's your sense of adventure, Sora? Come on.
Okay, but adjust.
That, if I would have oopsie daisied that, I'd be like,
Well, we're
"Who
screwed.
had a good run?"
Yeah. Just crash this into the moon so I can go down in history as the first person to die on the moon.
I'm buried on the moon. Fuck all of you.
Yeah. No, but you have, it's as hard as what he did was, right? You have to adjust. You have to adjust for the pucker factor, meaning that your life is on the line. It's like when you see these people who say stupid things on Wheel of Fortune because there's $10,000 on the line or something. Now take the difficulty and the stress factor up to 11, and then imagine trying to be smart when you're also afraid you're going to die. That's why these guys had the right stuff.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And why the current group of soft people that we deal with. Now, I've personally met several other astronauts, not just Apollo astronauts, but some people who are involved with the space shuttle. And I can tell you these are not like weak people at all, but the amount of sheer testicular fortitude that you needed to have to be like Mercury, Gemini, or Apollo is just kind of on a whole nother level.
Oh yeah. Well, it's one of those things like, and I know Apollo 13, the movie, was not exactly how it happened. I know that. But still, the idea that there was the burn that they had to do where they had to look through the window and keep what was it? Was it they had to keep the Earth in the tiny window when they had to do the burn around the moon? I can't remember what it was, but they had to keep it in that one window, and they could not like lose track of it, because if they did, or if they hit the shuttle too hard one direction, they were going to get thrown off into the middle of space and die.
Oh gosh.
Like,
yeah.
That kind of just I would like to think that I would hold it together through it, and I've had enough terrible moments in my life to know that I probably would, but the panic attack that would ensue afterward would be the thing of legends. Because I know myself. I'm good. In the moment, I'm amazing. 15 minutes later, I need a brown paper bag and smelling salts, because it's not going to end well.
Well, think down at Mission Control. What was that noise? That was the sound of 100 sphincters tightening simultaneously.
Exactly. It's like, ah!
Yeah. So I have a couple follow-ups from some previous things. We talked about the housing situation, right? And I was simply making the statement that you cannot build your way out of this. If you're bringing in millions and millions of people, you just cannot build your way out of it. We had that conversation with Jack. Well, they have a similar problem in the UK. And I mentioned also that I think that Jacob Rees-Mogg is one of the few politicians that I have any respect for, because I always thought his command of the figures were there. So consider this a twofer. Here's Jacob Rees-Mogg talking about the housing crisis in the UK. This is short, okay?
We have to build in our country a new home.
Oh, sorry,
every
not Jacob Rees-Mogg. It's that other idiot. My mistake. I have the wrong clip, but this one works. Ignore me. This is Nigel Farage.
minutes
Farage,
just to cope.
I've got
with
the wrong
legal
clip. I had one of each.
migration. And the British public are saying this is wrong.
Epic
it's
embed
frankly
fail.
not fair.
Yeah.
And that our kids can't even aspire
Fail for the win.
to owning a home in the way that their parents and grandparents and great-grandparents did. We have to build in our country.
Yeah, it's the same thing. You cannot let millions and millions and millions of people into your country and expect to build your way to home growth. You can build tent cities all you want. You can put up Quonset huts in the desert, but that's not what people want, right? Yeah. That's an issue. We also talked about the bad plastic surgery thing before. I know there's no good segue between these two things. Remember we brought up Erin Moriarty, who's on The Boys?
Oh, God.
Yes.
God.
Yes.
Her plastic surgery needs to be taken out, back, and shot.
So here's like the independent.co.uk, and you're going to love this headline. The Boys star Erin Moriarty expertly shuts down haters who criticize her appearance.
Oh, no, she didn't.
Oh, really?
I think I've seen this
How?
video. I know she did.
I don't care what she said. How on earth could she, or would she be able to shut down the haters? She didn't send us a memo, right?
Yeah.
Like a cease and desist for making fun of my plastic surgery.
It's like, honey, if you wanted to not be made fun of, maybe not have it done.
Well, it's just the perfect example of how the news and the entertainment companies are just sort of giving each other a reach around all the time.
Well, it's just like, I mean, even in that picture, that little picture they have of her down there, like, I can tell that her cheekbones are wet. Just, oh God, her face. She was so pretty before.
She was pretty and cute at the same time.
Yeah, which is a hard thing to do. That's
Which is
a rare thing.
Yeah.
Because mostly it's because it's like you either look like Kate Beckinsale where you're handsome and statuesque, but you're not pretty. But pretty and cute's a rare thing, and for it to be, let's face facts, she's in Hollywood. It wasn't entirely natural, but it was more natural looking than whatever the fuck that monstrosity is she has now. I'm sorry, that's duck face to Jesus right there, and it's just no.
Just because you liked one of her tweets or one of her comments on the red carpet or whatever doesn't mean that she taught anybody a lesson or shut anybody down. It's just you going, yeah, girl, you slay. Yes, queen. That's all that is. That's just absolutely terrible journalism. I'm so disappointed at the state.
Ghost it,
at the state of journalism. It's just absolutely terrible. So,
it's state of journalism, but the state of fans too. Like, that got 55,000 likes in 2 hours.
They just think they're just some people who still think she's hot. That's
I know.
That's all
I know.
it is.
Let's face fact. And I don't care what your gender is. There are some people who were just happy to have a warm body. Let's put it that way, and we'll go for anything.
She seems fit.
Well, I mean, it's the whole thing also of like how. Let me see if I'm put this? I'm trying to figure out how to phrase this.
Yeah, think
Simps-
carefully.
Simps are everywhere.
Oh,
in
Careful,
all
Icarus.
forms, and I'm not talking about like just the guys who thirst over girls. I'm talking about like it's the same thing with like guys who will listen to some of these certain
colored
podcasters. Yeah, and they're like, "Yeah, man, you're totally right, bro." And I mean, girls do it too with other girls. They're like, "Yeah,
Oh,
you
yeah.
slay, queen," stuff like that. So it's one of those things where it's like you don't take people online seriously. Never listen to them. They're not your friends. They don't know you personally.
After the show, we're gonna have an acolyte watch party. Let's be there.
Yeah.
The acolyte.
But it's just like it's like she looked like what her character was supposed to be, which was the girl next door who was born just a little too hot to stay there, but she was still like cute, pretty,
Sexy cute.
Yeah, now she looks like every other Angelina Jolie wanting to be bitch, and it's like, honey, you were different because you were I still think she probably had some work done before she got into acting, but before she became big on The Boys. But it was at least very minor. Now you just look like a terrible Angelina Jolie knockoff with blonde hair. That's all you look like. And it's like she's got the fake nails, and it's just like she's too skinny now. She at least had a little bit of weight on her before, and it's just like, honey,
Yeah.
you were going to, it is the thing is, as long as she's not stupid as some of the other actors have been, where she's like, I've gotten too big for this show, I'm going to leave. As long as she doesn't pull that, she'll at least have a job for another 2 or 3 years. But I will be amazed if we see much of her after this. I really do. After The Boys goes away, and The Boys is apparently not doing very well.
Yeah.
But yeah, sorry, Sora. Go ahead.
No, because I looked her up. So she's what, 30 now?
Yeah.
If
Which
she
she
did
looks
have a bit
older
of
than
the
that.
round, unfortunately, and the problem is that she is maybe not a natural blonde, but she is definitely more blonder.
Oh yeah.
If she has sun damage, that's going to age her. They
Yep.
tend to age, a little bit quicker sometimes. She lost the roundness, which means that that's the youthful part of it.
Yep.
You can put all sorts of filler back into your face, but it'll always look like filler,
Weird.
and it might
Yeah.
migrate, which means that you'll have weird lumpy bits if it's not down correctly. And as you can see, she didn't do it correctly here. It's unfortunate. Someone, and it could be her own insecurities whispering in her ear. It could be someone sabotaging her, whispering in her ear to do it. Who knows, right? But this is not this. It's just sad. She's too young to have been doing all this. But you know what's happening? It's the industry too. It's not just someone's trying to sabotage her as well. It's people want money, because they came out in the last few years with this idea of baby Botox, which is absolutely BS, because there's no such thing as baby Botox. You either get Botox or you don't. There's no less amount. It depends on which part of the face you're dealing with, right?
It's like microdosing
preventative.
Botox.
It's preventative. You start at 20 years old to prevent wrinkles ever forming.
There's a very there's a very solid argument to be made that the vast majority of people are not able to handle things like social media pressure and other things like that to try and like keep attention and everything. And it's one of those things where it's like, it's not saying that nobody can't, but it's one of those things where it's like, I'm not saying that the Hollywood should live in its own bubble, but but they do need to maybe seriously reconsider. I mean, they don't care because they can just churn through actors like crazy. Yeah. But at the end of the day, if there's actually like people in their corner, like they've got a good PR team, or family members are involved, they really need to. There really needs to be more of an effort to try and keep some distance between the online and IRL.
It kind of leads, because she looks like she's in her late 30s, early 40s, kind of there.
I don't think she's that old. I think she's like 30 or something, isn't she?
I know, but the surgery she's had done makes
her
her
parent
look old.
age is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but the thing is like this is kind of conducive to what's been happening with a lot of stuff you see on social media right now, where there's people who are very young millennials or Gen Z. A lot of them are Gen Z. Are like, why do we look older than the millennials? Like, there's a lot of that you see right now. Like, people are like, I'm 26, and everybody's like, no, you fucking not. And some of it's because they've had too much plastic surgery. It is very funny to listen to them say that it's like, oh, well, we've had a lot of stress. It's like, mother effer, I lived through Columbine, 9/11, the housing crash in 2008. Stuff that you all were like 5-year-old when it happened. Do not give me the stress crap.
We had to duck and cover for nukes and earthquakes.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, come on.
Yeah, it's like you've not had the level. Don't pull the stress crap with me because that's not the truth. It's just for some reason Gen Zers are not aging as gracefully as generations that came before them.
I dare anybody that complains to eat the cafeteria food I did in college. Talk to me about stress then.
Yeah, really, like legitimately, like some of the crap they fed us. Like, you want to go, mother effer? We'll go. But this is kind of a weird way, a ramification of that, because they're chasing, air quotes, a youthful look, but the problem is that the youthful look they're chasing isn't really youthful, and they don't understand that. And then you have, like, her piece of crap plastic surgeon who took advantage of her, because a plastic surgeon worth a damn would have said, you're 30, stop it.
Yeah. I want to look like Rona Mitra, but angry.
Yeah.
That's I don't know in the catalog what she picked. But maybe
she
he
needs to ask
transposed
for
the
her money
digits.
back.
Maybe she asked for 43 instead of page 34 because she's dyslexic. I don't know. So in terms of bad journalism, though, I know you'll love this article. I saw this and I'm like, is this entire thing written by AI? Because I don't think this was written by a human being. The proton engine Einstein predicted is ready. It challenges the laws of the universe and benefits the cars.
It does sound like, at least the title alone.
Do you know what they discovered? This is the proton engine that Einstein predicted decades ago, and that, for the first time, they've managed to materialize. The best part, it challenges even the laws of physics and the universe, and it's going to decarbonize transportation. Einstein predicted a nuclear fusion engine. Now they've just created it. Wait, what?
This feels fake.
This is an eco news. It's got to. This is totally reliable.
Well, the thing is that considering some of the crap I read when I worked for a university, there's some people who don't know how to write who wanted to go into journalism. So considering some things, I don't think it was written by a human, but I wouldn't be shocked if it was written by a human. Let me say.
If this engine challenges the laws of physics, this article challenges the laws of grammar.
Really. It's like, was it translated from Chinese to French and then to English? Like,
all I'm saying is that this has one hell of a compression ratio. If it's able to use nuclear fusion to power it.
That's impressive. That's what that is.
Yeah, so they talk about this tireless evolution, and then the first proton engine ready to decarbonize transportation, also on Earth. Rocket Star is a startup founded in 2021 is developing a nuclear fusion prototype propulsion engine. Okay, this is just all AI. There's just no other explanation for this, or somebody had a seizure halfway through writing it.
Well, click on the author's name. Can you click on it?
D. Garcia.
Oh yeah, that's not the most basic bitch name. Do any of them seem like they're also AI?
Wait, what? Goodbye to solar panels. The future is these spheres. Record power and even work with the moon. Okay.
What it sounds like is because BuzzFeed got caught doing this years ago.
Yeah.
When AI had first started to happen, what they were doing is that they were giving their AI names and then having them be air quotes authors. So that's probably what they've done is that they've taken an AI, like assigned a name to an AI art. So this way it makes it seem real. And that's basically what's happened here. Like this is you're right, Harry, it's an AI that wrote it. But to try to hide it, because apparently no one has reading skills anymore.
Mm-hmm.
They've given it a name.
Well, apparently the solar spheres we're talking about are called raw lemon, a sphere-shaped lens that generates solar energy. It is 70% more efficient than conventional solar panels due to its system of concentration and amplification of solar rays.
That was shit they talked about a decade ago, because I remember when
Yeah.
those things first got seen.
The sphere is filled with water and magnifies the sun rays by more than 10,000 times. This makes it
dead.
possible to produce energy from the moon or the sun even on cloudy days.
You be dead.
This is totally legit. Totes legit.
Ask them to write an article about solar freaking road rays. That's what you need to do.
Yeah. Solar freaking road rage. Now that would be fun.
Roadways, yeah.
Bunch of
my
guys
bad.
with Fresnel
Pulled it
lenses
up.
trying to drive next to each other's cars, going death ray.
I think AI is taking over my audio devices as we speak.
That's
Sorry.
fine.
They're coming for you, Geodes. They're
I
coming
know.
for you.
So even though
They're right
Jack
here.
is not here, we're going to talk about architecture anyway because
Do it.
forget Jack, he's not
Yeah.
here, so we're going to have fun anyway. If this will load.
If it's brutalistic, I'm going to come for you.
It's not brutalistic. 20th century architecture, the French Communist Party headquarters, built 1967 to 1981. So this is it on the outside. Not brutalism, but wait till you see
It's
the
ugly, though.
wait till you see what the French commies decided to do on the inside.
Oh,
okay.
God, please let it be ugly. Please let it be ugly.
Okay, it's like they really want film students to want to use it after dark. Come on, let's get to the inside.
Is it like a Kubrick film?
No, it's worse.
Oh, God. They're not going
Okay.
to show you the inside now, Harry. They're not going to do it. They're going to tell you go F
Why does
yourself.
everything change on me?
There we go.
Okay, so here's like the inside.
This one.
Yeah. And then they have like this
Oh.
big conference room thing.
It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. And
Okay.
I never want them to build like that ever again.
Look at this dome. Okay, so this is like this big conference room thing, and they have like this dome in there. And it looks like the Jupiter 1 from Lost in Space just sort of landed in the middle of the thing. And then here's like the inside when you go into this. It's got like this weird sort of... Yeah, because why not? Why not build a building with a building inside your building?
It looks like a Clockwork Orange set. That's what it looks like. It looks like a Clockwork Orange set.
Maybe 2000. Yeah, a little bit. You have some milk. Go down to the
Or
milk
in
bar.
2001 is a Space Odyssey, like together.
Okay,
That's what
so
it looks
this.
like.
Okay.
That looks cool. That
Okay.
one looks cool.
I mean, French communists are a bunch of idiots, but I got to say that is actually kind of cool.
that was that's it. That is the only thing. That is the only cool part. The rest of it is dog shit.
So they can
That's
sit there and
fucking
talk
awesome.
about their lofty, stupid, useless ideas,
Yeah.
but in style.
Yeah.
And they've got
That-
this thing back there behind there because, of course, that's for the acoustics. Because otherwise,
Yeah.
you'd never be able to hear a damn
No,
thing.
you wouldn't hear shit.
Yeah, this is pretty cool.
That one's awesome.
I really
looking.
like
That's-
mid-century architecture. I mean, I'm not really big on mid-century communism, but
Yeah.
architecturally speaking, this is kind of wild. I mean,
Yeah.
I know it's not. I wouldn't want everything in the world to look like this,
Yeah.
but I kind of like it when people do gutsy things, and even if they fail, it's kind of like, yeah, respect.
It does kind of look like what I imagine like a massive like sun tanning room would
Yeah,
be.
Hey, they
I
could
can
put
see
all
that.
the they could put all the black
can see
chicks
that.
in there, and they could work on their
There you go.
tan.
So, hey, Assassin, is this your first time seeing a Clockwork Orange? If you're gonna go see it, because I'd strap in. Because if it's your first time, I'd strap in.
It's
Okay, why is the carpet up on the wall?
because Jane Mansfield was there. No, she would put it on the ceiling too.
Yeah, she'd put it on the ceiling too. Make it look like a little wound.
It's a lovely shade of green, though. I
Oh,
really like
God.
that.
Oh.
The colors I don't have a problem with.
Yeah, the colors aren't bad. It's just the way they did it. It's weirdly colorful but devoid of color, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, this-
okay. It's
Oh,
Assassin's
okay, then-
Creed time.
Yeah, then you know. You're
I-
fine.
Are you sure that they weren't just doing cost cuts for a padded room cell? That's kind of where I'm.
Or they were
going.
trying to build a death trap, like that's actually just hiding a spiked ceiling.
Yeah.
We'd like a
Lower on
diffuse
you.
light. Okay. I don't know.
I actually kind of like that one. I like that kind of natural wood tone. Okay,
Oh,
that's
look at this.
terrifying.
This is where
That's
this
terrifying.
is where the cocaine goes. It goes on that table right in the middle, and then
That's-
everybody just kind of lines up around with their.
That looks like AI generated. Like, that doesn't look real. That looks weird.
Why is
I
a
don't-
candle floating in the background? Oh, God.
don't
Oh, that's
know.
not a candle. That's a lamp. Never mind.
The lamp.
I'm
Oh,
not
that's
gonna
not
lie.
bad,
I wouldn't
actually.
mind. I wouldn't mind visiting here if it wasn't full of communists.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of looks like the hospital cafeteria. I was
Cannibalistic
was at
Wizard, it's
last month.
Clockwork Orange. It's both.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Don't get me into a conversation about
These-
Clockwork Orange because we
these
will
are
we'll be here a while.
The cafeteria
are-
doesn't look bad. The cafeteria I would eat in that main conference room, I would go to a conference in. Everything else can burn.
Can we go back to the sketches, Harry? Because I don't think those were OSHA approved.
Yeah.
They're commies. They don't believe in OSHA.
That's true. That's true.
This is where the retro encabulator goes, Geodes. In case we need to schedule a turnaround.
We're
Yeah,
mean.
exactly.
All I have to say is we're all mean tonight. I don't know what else
Yeah.
we're mean tonight.
Stupid kidnapper fox. That's why. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me what the hell a kidnapper fox is. I don't want to be the only one who doesn't know this joke.
It's a new monster in Lethal Company. It killed all of us at some point during the game.
Yeah.
At least
that
once.
thing.
Okay.
Decapitating piece of shit.
Well, because when you're playing the game, you're on a ship, and the ship takes you to planets where you're supposed to salvage stuff. When the ship lands, it's predetermined, like you have no control over it. So it lands you in the middle of these fox alien monsters' nests, and you can't see them. But you can hear them, and the creator of the game made them make the fox sound. You know, the terrible blood-curdling screeching sound they make?
Screaming.
Mhm.
Yeah. And so you'll just be standing there, and they also have a tongue that comes out and grabs you like a frog and pulls you back to them.
And
So
it's sticky, so that's how they hold on to you.
Yeah, so like literally you can get jumped at any point, but you need to get out of the ship to go salvage, and because if you don't salvage, the company will kill you. So it's just you're stuck.
It was a catch-22 scenario, Harry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the reason why we hate the fox.
Yeah.
We don't give a shit what the fox says. The fox can go die. That's
Yeah.
what that's what we do. And that's an old joke from an old song in the 2000s. Everybody, woo! All right.
Monster couple travel hack to keep toddlers quiet on flights. Ooh.
Ew, I'm sure the attendants loved you. Oh, just I knew Sora was going to sing it at some point. I knew it.
I don't. I
There,
Sora's speechless. Oh God, you killed her, Harry.
something spreading cultural values. Oh wait, no, never mind. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm being mean. Now that's actually mean.
Okay. Here we since it's just jocularity. How about this?
You are autism. Send this to someone who's an autism. You are infected with being on the spectrum, and that is okay. Sometimes you do a weird thing.
Sometimes.
I don't care, and nobody should. Be proud of your infection. Embrace it. Wear fashions about it, like the ones I've designed. Please excuse my poor eye contact. I'm infected with autism. It's Autistic Girl Summer. Let's yell on the beach and also on the spectrum.
I don't feel bad about
Also
my
comes in boy version and non-binary version. Please comment, I love my infection. And always remember, you are loved, even if you're infected with gay.
I knew something like that was coming. I knew it. I knew it. I freaking
I don't feel bad about my previous comment anymore. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Electric car fire.
That's what. Anytime that those pops go off, that's a cell lighting up right inside the back. Yeah. Yep.
It's all good. Future's electric.
that is a feature.
It's completely safe. It's fine.
The future is fiery.
Future is
It's
fiery.
fine. It's fine.
It's fine.
Fine. It's fine.
Everything's fine.
Yes.
You know, the sad thing is I can't find the thing I was actually looking for, so I just keep throwing random things
There is no
out.
war in Ba Sing Se. It's fine.
Yeah.
Cannibalistic wizard.
Yeah, 20 points or 10 points to Gryffindor, wizard. Good job.
Do you really think cannibalistic wizard's Gryffindor?
Hufflepuff? I don't know.
Oh no, he's
I
Slytherin.
don't keep track of these things.
Learn your geekdom.
Learn
Harry.
my
Goddamn.
my Harry Potter lore.
Yes.
No. I refuse. Still can't find the thing I'm actually looking for. Damn it.
What are you looking for, Harry?
I don't remember now.
Excellent.
It's been so long I can't even remember what it is I was looking for. It's very sad.
7 years.
Okay, well, we'll look at something else. Okay, we don't care about that. You want to talk about? Let's see. No, we're not going to talk about that. Okay, let's talk about crime. You know how I said I don't like petty crime, and I say let's give jail a chance. Let's see some criminals, and then we can see how you feel about my statement.
Okay.
Thieves stealing e-bikes from Ace Hardware. No, just drive your truck up there, and he's got his tool where he just used to undo all that. Just take these e-bikes and just throw them in there, because this is what happens when you have like a $7,000 bicycle.
Wait, were these the ones that are up on sale, or were they just parked?
No, these are the ones that people parked in front of the Ace Hardware, and then they just, or maybe they were on sale. So you just pull your truck up and get a angle grinder and just cut through it and then drive away.
Well, I'm impressed with how efficient that was.
Yeah. I mean, that's what happens, because if it's that easy to steal stuff, I really feel like if we lock some people up, make it be like, well, maybe there's a 1 in 1,000 chance I'm going to get caught. But if I do get caught, I'm going to go to jail for 20 years because Harry's an asshole. I'm willing to take that chance that they might have to do that.
I'm willing to make that sacrifice.
I'm willing to make the sacrifice of potentially being wrong about them not.
I would like to point out they used to chop people's hands off for stealing chicken eggs. That's all.
Exactly. Exactly.
There you go.
So remember last week I talked about this military aviation channel. So then I started getting tons and tons of aviation stuff in my feed.
There you go, Harry.
And so I got then a bunch of commercial pilots and stuff. And now my YouTube feed has basically turned into 50% this. YouTube has decided that I just like cute Asian stewardesses. And so this is what my feed is just all this all the time. I mean, actually, that's kind of a cool little outfit they've got there.
Yeah, I like it. What airline is that?
Well,
I don't know.
what was the thing you
Pesawat Airbus.
You know, Harry, I believe there was something you told me a while back when I was talking about how my feed got flooded, and I think it was something along the lines like, "Oh, it sounds like just desserts." I think is what you said. So yeah, stuffer.
Yeah, but suddenly YouTube has decided that I desperately want to date like an Asian stewardess. But how did I start from F-16s and Warthogs going Bert to commercial aviation to now all of a sudden it's like Asian stewardesses? The algorithm is stupid. It's like a dog that really wants to get you to play with it, and you don't have time, so it brings you a toy, and then you won't play with that toy. So the dog goes fine, and then it goes and gets something else, and it just keeps bringing you stuff, thinking that you're going to stop like doing paying work and pay attention to the dog. That's what the YouTube algorithm is.
Well, a lot of it is also manipulation from like China and stuff like that, because China's gotten caught trying to manipulate the algorithm with their stewardess to kind of say, look how old and ugly all the stewards and stewardesses from other countries look, and then look at the pretty young Chinese ones. So China's gotten caught using bots to manipulate, and India's gotten caught using bots to manipulate, especially after the incident that involved the lady and her husband who were doing backpacking who got jumped. It's amazing how much India inundated everybody's feeds with happy women in pretty saris dancing. So it's there's a lot of manipulation stuff that goes on, and yeah.
Okay. Well,
I'm impressed. I don't think this is, judging from the flag on their shoulder, I do not believe this is China. but it's probably another country that's gotten wise to the stuff China's been doing, so they've just been tagging their stuff the same way.
Okay,
to
so
get
I
attention.
hit the "Don't show me this channel again" thing,
Oh,
and then
nice.
exactly the same video came up from a different
Yeah.
channel like 5 minutes later.
Yep.
And it's like half my feed is this,
Yep.
which is just embarrassing, you know. Anyway, because imagine I'm at like a customer's or something, and I bring up YouTube to try to look for something, you know, like some thing about something technical, because I do that, right? And then all of a sudden they see my whole suggested homepage, and it's just half Asian stewardesses.
Well, depending
It
on the
makes me
customer,
look
they
bad.
may like it, they may not like it.
Back in the 90s, they would have said, "All right." The
Back in
90s
my
were a
day.
way more fun time. But speaking of like airplanes and stuff, this is a video that I stumbled across, and I'm thinking we keep letting people into the military sort of in some weird quota system because we want to make it look like the rest of the U.S. or something. I don't want it to look like that. I want people flying F-18s and stuff to be better than most other people. You know, I want people doing those kinds of jobs where lots of people can get killed to be better than the rest of us, to really know how to hold their shit together. So here's a severe bad weather landing of an F-18 on a carrier. Okay. And I'm going to kill most of the sound. So you take a look at, you know, here's the air crew on the deck, and you can see that it's just stormy as hell, right? This is the suck. Visibility is like almost nothing. And so, of course, the ship's got to be moving and rocking because of all the wind kicking up the waves. Here comes this F-18 in on this little barely lit dot.
Get it, buddy, get it. Catch the line, catch the line. Good boy.
Can you imagine some sort of DEI hire being put behind the stick of one of those jets?
Okay, Harry.
Everybody
they're
on
not
the
going
deck is going to die.
No, they're not. They're not going in blind. They're getting trained. Like, good lord.
I'll bet you that only a tiny fraction of pilots have what it takes to do a carrier landing in bad weather.
Oh, absolutely.
You've
Like,
got to
that's
be like
thing.
the best of the best to do that kind of thing.
Oh,
He's
yeah,
man
no.
of commitment, focus, and sheer fucking will.
It's one of those. It's like, but that was the way it was probably even before all of this other stuff going on. Like that's a rare skill and a rare amount of like just ball sack
Exactly.
to do. And so like the person who they're going to let do that is going to be someone that knows what they're doing. Otherwise, they're going to get redirected or they're going to get put somewhere else until the storm passes.
they're going to end up landing in the back end of the below basically the flight deck in the back of the aircraft carrier is what's going to happen.
Probably judging from the height they were going in on, no, they'd probably take the other planes out if they were coming in because they weren't going to hit the back end. That they're at least they'll at least stay on the deck, just not where they need to.
So these things like the Iron Dome,
Yeah.
the missiles that they use are extremely expensive.
Oh, yeah.
And now there's, of course, an issue with drones, and you don't want to use expensive weapons to take care of drones. Well, South Korea is building a new system where they can basically use a laser to destroy a drone for a whopping $1.45 in electricity. That's basically their cost to take out a drone.
Well,
So-
considering how many poop balloons kept getting sent their way, they probably were like, yeah.
Well, it doesn't take. I mean, it's like having the right solution for a problem. You wouldn't attack a mosquito with a machine gun if you
depending
you
on my
could.
mood, I may.
Yeah, exactly. But supposedly the
day.
Israelis are working on something like this too. But it looks like the Koreans might be the first people to actually have like a production system for dealing with these enemy drones coming across. Because otherwise, North Korea could just bankrupt them. You're going to use a $30,000 interceptor or a $500,000 interceptor for every drone. It's like they can make a drone for $1,000. You're
it's
just
like
going to
also-
kill them financially if you throw enough drones at them. So the answer to that is, okay, giant freaking laser.
Well, it's one of
Nice.
those things where it's kind of like also being that close to China. Korea's pretty self-aware enough, South Korea is, to know that if China starts shit, there's two places they're going. They're not going after Japan first. They're going after Vietnam or they're going after South Korea because they're going to cut to North Korea and go to South Korea. So they know that they have to have something built for when China decides to be the little bitch that they are. So it's
the only thing that they're missing is a Godzilla roar every time the laser fires off. Just
wrong country.
Close enough. Just say.
I think the Koreans will kick your ass for that one. I think is what's gonna
That's fine.
Hey, I'm generally in favor of anybody who wants to build a giant freaking laser, okay?
Oh, absolutely. Go
Because you
for
don't have to
boys.
vaporize the drone. All you have to do is make it so it doesn't work anymore. And
you just
a
have to
laser will totally do that.
Well, you just have to do what the asshole kids always try to do to pilots with their laser pointers.
Yeah,
They're like, I'm
but
gonna
more.
blind you. Just blind the sensor. That's all you have to do, and it'll die on its own.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Were those your optics?
Oh darn.
Oh, darn. Oh, boy. Mm-hmm. All right. So let's talk about birds.
Okay.
Yay.
So it turns out that if you look at the different kinds of seagulls and where they tend to live, the ones that live on cliffs tend to have larger brains than the ones that don't live on cliffs. And the theory is that the smarter seagulls are actually better at coping with environments like cliffs or places, urban environments like where people live. And now this sounds really stupid. You're like, how is being a smarter seagull make your life any better? Well, urban environments actually throw a whole bunch of challenges up to things like seagulls. It's not like just being out on the ocean and the beach and there's not a whole lot of variables, because humans do random stupid shit all the time, right? So what do seagulls have to do about it? Well, another study, which I found, which is sort of related, says that gulls pay attention to human eyes. So if humans are looking at seagulls, the seagulls will typically move away from them much more quickly than they would if the humans are looking away. If the seagull doesn't notice that a human being is actually looking at it, it will allow that human, if it's just sort of wandering around, to get a few feet closer to it on average than it would otherwise. So I think these two articles together kind of explain a lot. Oh, not that article. It's seagulls with lasers. That the smarter seagulls are actually much better suited to dealing with humans and all their messy behavior. I mean, I'm not a big fan of seagulls for the most part. They're giant assholes. They're flying sea rats. I'm not like a huge fan of them, but I have to say that they are kind of graceful and they're pretty impressive at how persistent they are. I mean, it's a survivor bird, right? They're pretty okay. And the fact that the smart ones seem to be better at getting along with us, I think is kind of interesting. Mm-hmm. Just a morsel of weird science news. But the idea that seagulls pay attention to where we're looking, I think that's almost more surprising yet.
What I'm hearing from this, Harry,
Yeah.
is we need to start wearing the same hats we use to ward off tigers, where the eyes and back.
Nice.
Maybe they'll stop stealing our hot dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, if we could just teach seagulls to just bite at sunfish, that would be great. Every time the sunfish kind of floats up to the top, they just take a little nibble, because they do it with whales.
I can
And
see that.
orcas
There you
and
go.
dolphins. They're asshole birds, but apparently they're smarter than we thought. Not only are they being annoying in our cities, but they're smart enough to know when we're paying attention to them, and they respond accordingly.
There you go.
All right. See? Actual science news. Yay. Okay, what else? Let's see. How long do we have to go here? Another 25 minutes? Okay.
Roughly.
Okay, what do we want to talk about next?
There is something I put in the side chat, in the private chat, if you're oh so interested, Harry. But that's kind of up to you.
If I can find that window.
I mean, I will say though, I like the idea of seagulls that can fire lasers.
Yeah.
That sounds like a great idea. Maybe they can fry the sunfish that way. You know, that can.
Okay.
Hey now.
Let's do. Okay, I don't want to. I've got a music thing, but it might be good not to do that when Skep is away, because I think he'll be sad if he misses out on that. But I can show you this. I know who's going to enjoy this. Sora's going to enjoy this.
Yeah.
Why did the chicken cross the road? It's a Chick-fil-A delivery robot.
That's so
We're watching a
cute.
T-boned right here.
I had no idea these drove around on the
Chicken
street.
Nuggies everywhere.
This is so nuts.
There's no.
How does it know how to cross 4 lanes of traffic?
They're gonna get somebody come over here.
Look, it made it.
God, I'd be so nervous watching it go.
So what do you think,
The-
Sora? How do you feel about our robot overlords if they bring us chicken nuggets?
Me. I'll be fine. I mean, oh, look at their face.
Jesus. Do you remember the footage of the two security guys that were driving that truck in South Africa, and then like all the footage was released of them having to avoid the people chasing him down?
Oh yeah, with the pew
It's-
pews. That's a great video.
It's gonna be like that with this Chick-fil-A truck at some point. Just saying. That thing is not safe.
I just thought about a joke that would get me in a lot of trouble. Never mind. Okay. I'll let you fill in the blanks for yourself. What if it was a different type of chicken delivery truck? Okay, leaving that where that is. 2,000-year-old lump of butter found in Irish bog.
Ooh, yummy. Is it still eatable?
No. I wouldn't recommend it, but that's a lot of butter. Buried 12 feet under Conaway, found a massive 22-pound, 10-kilogram chunk of butter. Oddly enough, such encounters are not unusual. Hundreds of lumps of bog butter have been found in Ireland and Scotland, dating back over thousands of years, according to a study published in the Journal of Irish Archaeology. Sure, 2,000-year-old butter. That sounds good. You could probably sell that on eBay for a lot of money because you know some idiot's going to want to try it.
You gotta grease those financial wheels. You know,
It's like, well, you know, last week we sampled an MRE from 1953, a K
Yeah.
ration from the Korean conflict, and this year we're going to
like
butter
my
our
gut's
toast with
pretty
2,000-year-old butter. I'm sorry, Sora. What?
I feel like my gut's pretty strong.
Yeah.
I'm sure Stick, Sex, and Hammer will get right on this. Just
Oh yeah, I forgot. Spankenhammer likes to do that sort of stuff.
yeah, there you go.
Well, how about the world's oldest wine? World's oldest wine found in 2,000-year-old Roman tomb.
Oh,
An urn
is
found
it
in
still
a
wine
tomb.
or did it get vinegar?
Well, that's debatable. An urn found in a tomb in Spain contained the cremated remains of a man, a gold ring, and about 5 liters of liquid, which has been identified as now discolored white wine. So, yeah, it used to be a nice white, and now it's turned into red. So,
Ew.
I think it's probably not going to be very good.
Hey,
Not
you know,
aged to perfection.
either that or we've learned a new fermenting trick. One or the other. You never know.
But the fact
Or you need to mix a little bit of cremated remains into your wine for storage.
Someone needs to drink the forbidden wine.
and a gold
We
ring.
need volunteers.
Well, the fact that there's still wine in there at all, you know, that the angels share didn't, you know, it was sealed in a tomb in a sealed container, and that there's any liquid in there at all is kind of remarkable to begin with. Let alone that we can still even determine that it's wine as opposed to literally anything else. But 2,000-year-old wine, actually 1,700-year-old wine, that's fine, right? Yeah. Found in a Roman mausoleum. That's fine. So we've got the world's oldest wine. We've got 2,000-year-old butter. What else is on our old menu? Well, this is a New World thing, so it's not 2,000 years old. But perfectly preserved 250-year-old cherries found in George Washington's cellar at Mount Vernon.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
cool.
Yeah. So archaeologists have unearthed an astounding 35 glass bottles from the 18th century in the cellar of George Washington's home. The 5 storage pits buried in the dirt under Mount Vernon included 29 intact bottles of perfectly preserved cherries, a fruit associated with the America's first president who was touted as telling the truth, blah, 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 cherry tree. Workers discovered the stash amidst an ongoing renovation of Washington's manor to repair sections of the framing and masonry. Yeah, so this was a thing that they did because, you know, refrigeration was not a thing. So you would preserve food and you would want to keep it cool because it sucks at Mount Vernon during the summer. So preserving them and then burying them intentionally is actually a completely valid strategy to having cherries later. But
There
they
you go.
must have just sort of forgotten about these.
Yeah. I mean, or either that, or, things did not line up well for poor Washington because he did die a bit younger, so.
Yeah, I mean, you could bury some bacon in your backyard. It's not going to hold up. But, cherries that are preserved in glass. Because if you actually heated them and they have the right amount of acidity and the right amount of sugar, or maybe even vinegar or something, and you keep the air out of them and keep them cool and keep the light off of them, yeah.
Yep.
But hundreds of years, that's a bit of a stretch. Again, Styx Hexenhammer would probably try these, right?
I was just about to ask, can you eat them?
Probably not the best idea. I mean,
it might taste fine. They'll probably go right through you, though.
I wouldn't recommend it. I mean, from a food safety perspective, but would you probably die? No, I think if they tasted edible, given like I said, the acid and the sugar in them, botulism isn't really a big concern. You probably wouldn't die.
You might feel like dying, but you probably wouldn't.
Yeah, you might feel like you went to Chipotle. Have you ever been to Chipotle, Sora?
Yes, I don't get the jokes. I've never had any issue. They have quite tasty food.
I have eaten at Chipotle 3 times. I got food poisoned twice. And
Maybe we have better food service standards or something.
Like 18 hours of not being able to go far from the bathroom stuck. I cannot eat. I will not eat at Chipotle again. They got their one I forgive you and I'll try you again thing. But when I got sick 2 out of 3 times, I'm like, I don't care. I don't care what the numbers are.
I used to eat there every weekend with my buddies, Harry. I'm sorry to tell you, we had a great time.
Good for you.
Yeah. Someone was trying to
Yes.
murder you.
You are targeted, man.
Okay, so if I went back there and ate again and I turned into a chocolate fountain again, you guys would laugh at me. I know you would. Yes, you would. You'd be, look at Harry. He always gets sick every time he eats a Chipotle, and we convinced him to do it again.
Yeah, I mean, my coworkers. That's about how my coworkers would be.
Yeah.
So I mean that's pretty normal for the human behavior.
Yeah, men are very supportive. Okay.
I will say, don't go back to that one. Go to a different one.
I agree. Go to a different one.
Yeah.
I've never had. I really like Chipotle. I usually get the salad bowl double, and I'll do like a split of pork and beef.
Mm-hmm.
And I do like their queso and chips dip.
Just go to the place with the quesadilla instead. Have some real Mexican food.
That's better. But but the other place is like one I could go for lunch, and the other one is far away.
We're going to do you have to do a Chipotle run. If you're going to make Kefki do her like a steak run or whatever, you got to do your Chipotle run. Just saying, yeah.
Oh, fun fact: Mexican food is an oxymoron. Yes, I know. I think Assassin feels about Mexican food the way I feel about Korean food. I like Korean people. I like many Korean things. I just do not like their food. I just don't get it.
Bananas on pizza is a bit extreme. Just saying.
Yeah, well, screw those people. So, so speaking of food, it's too bad Functional isn't here because he would really, really hate this. But you remember, gosh, I think it was like 2 Thanksgivings ago, or maybe it was a year ago. I showed footage of this woman from the South who seemed very nice, but bless her heart, she really didn't know how to cook, and she was making a Thanksgiving dinner using nothing but canned stuff.
Canned food, yeah.
Well, that family still is doing their thing. In fact, it's just this guy, I guess like Josh and his mom, they have this YouTube channel, and some of the abominations that they've made lately really make that canned food Thanksgiving pale in comparison. I present to you Whataburgers.
And what made you want Whataburgers today?
Oh, that was so good last time.
When's all that stuff on top?
Oh.
It's just like, it might be like the fat from the meat or something.
Okay, she doesn't even know that like when you boil meat and stuff, you're supposed to scrape the scum off the top. So I wouldn't trust her to make stock. It's a good thing that she doesn't make stock. She just opens cans.
It's like the burgers cook. It's going to be all right.
These ain't turning out right. They didn't look like...
They did look just like this the last time. Look at that. There's nothing wrong with these burgers.
She cannot cook. This is sad.
How are they still even retaining the shape?
Because they were pre-made and they came frozen. They probably got meat glue and binders in them.
They don't.
She didn't shape those patties. She doesn't do that kind of thing.
That's what that looks like.
What is this?
Yeah,
How-
we can use this for
The
like
reason
vegetable
she's
soup or
skinny is they
something.
probably have
No, you
food
can't.
poisoning all the
Why
time.
can't I?
She probably smokes.
Yes, I can too.
You're serious?
The vegetable soup, yes.
So
Stay
it's
tuned.
just sadness, and it doesn't get any better. Here she is making an omelet.
Oh.
Wait.
What? You said wait.
Why?
No, this is how you make an omelet when you live in the
realize
South and you don't know how to cook.
Look,
Here we go.
they're making videos on YouTube. She
Yeah.
has
This is
access
gonna be
to
an
YouTube.
omelet.
Yeah,
I think they're playing
they have
with
270,000 subscribers.
Why would they do that?
I will move in for like a month, and my limited knowledge
Mama.
will get this lady to
You gotta have
cook.
plate on your bacon.
There's not. Look at that. We gotta wait for this water to boil. And then we'll put this over in there.
I love your accent so much, though.
See, Functional is so missing out
Sous
right
vide
now.
eggs. Okay, so she's making sous vide eggs. Okay.
She's making a water omelet to go with her water burgers.
It rolled right out, just like I said. What? I don't think it's ready, John. It ain't done.
Now, okay, to be fair, she seems sweet. Okay, she does. She seems sweet. She seems like a very nice lady. But like I said, in the words of the South, bless her heart, she does not know how to cook. And she should not have a channel where she shows people how to cook. And I don't think like her son realizes, I think he knows something's going on, but I think he's just sort of monetizing his mother's cluelessness for clicks or something.
Oh dear.
Okay, here's their meatloaf. I'll play the meatloaf with the sound off.
I do think that you should show this to
I wanna
Functional
make
at a separate time. Just saying.
Yeah, she's making a meatloaf. It looks like she works in a medical field or something.
If she's wearing red scrubs, she works in cardiac.
And then she comes home and she's gonna make a meatloaf. She took meat with no seasoning, put it in that pan, and then just brought it out of the oven. Mmm.
Oh, that's a pretty solid piece.
God.
She's gonna season it. She's gonna put some ketchup and some mustard on it. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Do you understand how expensive groceries are nowadays?
Yeah. Well, I mean, Geodes and I look at like the Wolf Pit and stuff. I mean, sort of Depression era cooking and like how to make cheap meals and stuff. I can be a cheap bastard. I like being a cheap bastard sometimes.
But like those Depression era meals, they put seasoning still.
Yeah, like Hoover stew.
Have
It's got at least salt or pepper or something in it.
This is the I'm too tired to care cooking edition. That's kind of what it feels a little bit like. But
If
the
she
thing
did
is-
the I'm too tired to care, what she would have is she would have that bread maybe toasted, and she would eat it with pickles.
that's the
She
thing
doesn't
I like.
understand girl dinner. That's
I-
the problem.
I definitely is. It's not
That's
good.
what I would do. When I'm done.
I do want to see her Chipotle cooking video. I think that would be something that Harry would be very interested in. Just saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this is kind of sad actually. I feel
Yeah.
I feel bad for her. She seems nice.
She
but-
seems nice.
What's one of those things like it feels mean on the son's part because
It does.
his
Kinda,
tags
yeah.
show that he knows it's not right, and he just keeps using it because that's how he's getting views, and
Yeah,
it's
he-
just like
He's Jill Bidening her.
basically, and it's just
Yeah.
kind of like you never hear them mention his father. At least I never have in the few videos I've seen. So it's one of those things. It may have been, and considering there's two kids in the picture behind her, it may have been him and his sister, and she had to do it by herself, and she was a cardiac nurse.
I know where
And
the father is.
Well, that's the thing, though. He may have been there, and he may work on an oil rig somewhere up there in the South.
No. He left because her food was terrible.
Dang.
And it's
Harry.
yeah, that's.
She seems nice, though. I mean, honestly, she does. Other than the fact that she can't cook, she seems like a keeper.
Well, she seems like
She seems really sweet.
At least every hospital system I've ever seen, the red usually means cardiac, and depending on what part she's in, like that's not a good department to be in the hospital. It's not.
Yeah.
It's a nightmare, and it's just, I am sad she can't cook. I am sad she can't cook. I kind of hate her son though.
Her son should take the money that he's earning off this channel, go to like a place where he can learn how to cook, and then come home and cook for his mama.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
and
seriously.
not do it in the, see, Mama, this is how it's done. It's like, Mama, let me cook for you now. You cook for me for my childhood. Let's just like don't hurt the poor woman.
You go save lives. You go to the cath lab and put stents in people or something, and then I'll make you a meatloaf that doesn't suck.
Yeah, and if your daddy's around, hell yeah, I hope he is. God willing, he is. Cook for your daddy too. Do not be an asshole to your daddy.
watch The Wolf Pit and Great Depression Cooking with Clara. You'll be much better off.
Yeah.
Well, okay, the thing she calls meatloaf in my family, mind you, we took the grease off. We called that lazy person's patty melt. And basically, you did it in that one big long thing, so this way you could then cut it up the way she did it, and then do patty melts.
Yeah.
So I think this is also a lot of her not knowing the right words.
It could even be a possibly, I don't know where she is, but maybe even the cultural term difference thing too.
Well, she sounds like she's from Bama or Georgia, judging by her accent. So it could just be a colloquialism.
Yeah, well, she could take her weird square hamburger meatloaf thing, right, and get like some King's Hawaiian rolls, and just put that over the top, and then in a frying pan, even though she's got her weird baked meat, right, season it, of course, and then take some onions and reduce them down, and then put them on there with like a little bit of mustard, and then put the patties over the top and make sliders out of them. That'd be fine.
Absolutely.
Yeah. A little salt and pepper would be nice.
Yeah.
Maybe some MSG.
Always got to do the MSG. What gives it life.
MSG is good for you.
Give you life.
Makes you happy, which gets rid of your stress, which keeps you from looking like an old Gen Z.
I mean, she looks young she looks young too.
Yeah.
She doesn't look that old either, so they probably ate a lot.
And you can't say, and you can't accuse her of not having stress. Just saying, if she's a cardiac nurse.
Maybe her taste buds are calibrated for hospital food.
It might be. That might be the reason why she just can't tell no different. Like, it tastes good, you idiot.
Maybe you got her
Mama,
taste
no,
buds
it don't.
too close to the cobalt machine. Okay, so Sora, watch this carefully. This is a scene from the Bachelorette.
Oh Jesus!
Did anybody else see the two rats run by in the background of the Bachelorette? Wait for it. Wait for it. Right here. Those are.
Yeah, aren't they on an island or something? Of course there are rats.
There's gonna be rats everywhere. Yeah.
I've seen so much footage of Nigel running around my garage. It's like, little bastard was really fast.
Look, hey, Harry, Bachelorette.
Bachelorette.
Yeah, it's Nigel.
I would watch that. I would watch that.
Yeah.
Oh God.
You would?
That was actually their quick little promo.
Oh,
for
okay.
The Bachelorette. That's what's
There
going to
you
happen
go.
next. They're going to start pairing off animals. They're starting with the rats.
Okay, I already know Geode's answer because no guy would ever buy the following. But what about you, ladies? How about a little? Camping dome, or I should say, glamping dome. You want a glamping dome?
Ooh.
Yeah.
It depends. Do I have to set it up?
Or do they just airlift it in there?
Yeah. If I have to set it up, no.
Modular. That's so pretty. I would stay in one.
Yeah, I would stay in one.
Don't you want to put one in your backyard? You could put little lights on it, and
Oh, it's very pretty.
yeah, and scented candles,
I really
and
like that.
yeah, fits any outdoor space. So you can just make yourself like a little geodesic glamping dome thing for your
You can
on-Earth
become
moon
a bubble
colony.
boy or a bubble girl.
Yeah.
But, Or
Like I said, as long as I don't have to clean it or put it together, and I just have to stay in it, yes. If I have to do any of the other things, fuck no.
So you can get like, you know, like 20 or 30 of them, set them up for Airbnb. That'd be,
Oh boy.
yeah.
I'd much rather just get my hotel license and do it that way.
I will say, Harry.
Yes.
I would stay in one of the ones designed like the panel like thing we saw earlier, but not because I particularly want to glamp. It's because I'd like to imagine myself in the Martian.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Pretending
There
I'm
you
inside one of
go.
those things and like doing a survivable habitat. So there you go. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, let's see. How can she be from the South and not know how to cook? Well, you know, that is a good question.
I mean, guys, you do realize that there's a lot of people in the South who don't know how to cook, right?
Well, there's at least one.
Yeah. There's a lot of them. Like, don't let the internet fool you. There's a lot of Southern women and men who don't know how to cook.
Well, I have a weird thing that I like to whenever I see these at a bookstore, if I see like one of those community cookbook things,
yeah,
those things are great because
Oh,
they
I
have
love
all
those.
these.
I have
Yeah, they're just
several of
they're
those,
just
yeah.
full of like fantastic little recipes for things and stuff. And Imaginary Girlfriend thinks they're pretty cool too. So if I see one, I just grab one. And it's a cheap conversation starter, right?
Yeah.
And I've got some of them that are like from military wives in the South.
Nice.
And those ladies knew how to cook. I mean, every now and then you get into one and you go, yeah, clearly this is the one woman who doesn't quite know what she's doing.
Yeah.
Like she's Chuck Schumering some hamburgers.
Oh, yeah.
You saw that video, right? Or the footage of it. They were trying to do like a Democrat photo thing for the 4th. And supposedly Chuck Schumer was making hamburgers and he had cheese on top of raw hamburger patties on a grill.
I didn't see that. I didn't see that.
It's just medium, or medium rare. You know, it's not raw.
No, it wasn't medium anything. It was basically slightly gray from being near the heat.
I did like there's an old comedy routine. It's quite a while ago, but this is back when Jay Leno was still doing the Tonight Show.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're trying to feed him like all these greens and stuff, and he's like, "No, I'm good, thanks." No, oh, cookies, great, and they eat cookies. And they're like, "Ooh, these are fantastic." They're like, "Yeah, they may have veggies," and he just starts spitting it out. It's just like, yeah, enough.
I don't want veggies in my cookies, you assholes. Leave my cookies alone.
So,
goddamn vegans.
I don't know if any of you, I mean, I'm stressed. So, of course, I know about like the weird squeezy stress toy things. I don't know if any of you guys are stressed, but you are familiar with them, right? Where you just have this rubber thing and it's got like weird sand in it and you just squeeze it to get rid of your
And
stress.
his eyes pop out.
Yeah, sometimes. Sometimes they don't even have eyes. So I saw this ad for Temu that popped up, and it was for like this weird dress. And I don't think my response to it was what they expected it would be. Because when I looked at it, I thought it looked more like a human stress ball. Doesn't this look like one of those weird stress balls?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Yeah. But somebody said, hey, that looks really good. Why don't I turn it into a dress?
It looks like someone green screened it on. That's what it looks like. Because it doesn't look entirely right. Let's put it that way.
$6.09, ladies.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Well, and
oh boy.
And finally, okay, we'll do this one too. So this I've captioned. It's all downhill from here, kid.
Yeah.
2, 1, burn the hole! Burn the hole!
Do it, kid.
Burn the hole!
Third time, do it. Yeah.
Your whole life coming after this is not going to live up to what just happened.
Yeah.
First time you hook up with a girl, no comparison. First child, no comparison. Nothing you do in the rest of your life is going to be as good as what just happened. You might as well just pack it in.
End it here, just dead.
Just end it here, because it's all downhill from there. Can you imagine being a young boy about his age and blowing up a smokestack like
Even
that?
a young girl, hell yeah.
Oh my God. Well, I don't know how young girls feel about stuff, clearly.
I'd blow some shit up. I have no qualms about blowing shit up. Of course, I'm country.
I want to be an adult.
Yes.
And blow a smokestack up.
There we go.
Yeah. Well, we have to say, as penis news for the end of the show, we have to say goodbye to Dr. Ruth Westheimer. Do you guys did you guys experience the Dr. Ruth thing?
Yep.
Because
A
she
little
would,
bit.
well, she would come out when Johnny Carson was on the Tonight Show, right?
Oh,
and
yeah.
kind of like when you're going to talk about sex and stuff, you want somebody to be kind of sexually non-threatening. And there's nothing less threatening than a little old Dr. Ruth Westheimer.
4'2".
Yeah, she's like, just this little old lady saying kind of dirty sounding things, tee-hee. And it's just like, there's just no threat. There's nothing creepy about it. She could get away with saying stuff that, that stupid woman on MTV, that green woman that hooked up with Chris Ray Gunn. What's her name? Lacey Green?
Lacey Green, yeah.
Yeah. Because when she would say stuff, it would just sound kind of creepy.
Yeah.
But when Dr. Ruth would give like sex advice and Johnny Carson would be there, everybody would just sort of twitter a little bit and raise an eyebrow, and it was all funny. It was all in good fun. So she kind of was like the perfect person for that job. The world's a little uptight. People need to know some stuff. Let's bring out Dr. Ruth. She's always kind of a crowd pleaser.
Well, the thing is like she's kind of a little bit like Teddy Roosevelt because she was a little badass too. She fought in the Israeli War for Independence in 1948. She was a sniper.
Nice.
She was like an actual like military sniper. Like she was actually in the IDF.
Mhm.
Like they have pictures of her and everything. And like she was a little motherfucking badass. Like, get it, girl.
Yeah, but I mean, good on her for making it to 96.
I know, like Jesus, and she was still cognizant.
Yeah.
To make it to 96 and still be cognizant, hell yeah, man, that's all I want.
Yeah, Olivia de Havilland died at like 103, and she was still like able to ride a bicycle and stuff, unlike certain other people who are 81 and fall over as soon as they try
All
to
right, we're gonna have happy news. You stop.
pedal. Sorry, I'm just thinking about our fake commander-in-chief.
Olivia de Havilland was born in Japan.
Yeah, Olivia de Havilland was cool. But, I mean, honestly, 96, that's a good run. And
Yeah, absolutely. And she educated several generations on sex. Like, the bit that some people know about sex came from her in many cases. So respect to you, woman. I salute you.
And the antithesis of that is Richard Simmons passed away.
I know.
Which is the opposite of sex.
Yeah.
And he was in his 70s, and it's sad.
Yeah.
He literally just turned
76, I think.
Yeah.
Hey, but Richard Simmons was, again, kind of a weird, not threatening thing. This was back when gay people were sort of like Paul Lynn. Everybody knew they were gay. Everybody knew they were gay. But nobody particularly cared because they didn't just spend all their time talking about the gay. Yeah. They just sort of did their job, and nobody cared.
Got infected with the gay.
Exactly.
But he also
Nobody
was like
cared.
He was one of the first like body positivity people who was the good body positivity. He was like, listen, I was fat like you. We can do this. Let's exercise and eat right, and let's do this as a unit. Let's do this as a group because you're not alone in this. This is a fight. And like that's the kind of body positivity person that I want out there, not what's out there now.
And he didn't mind making himself be the butt of the joke if it would help people do what they need to do.
Oh yeah, he was great at it.
He was great. I mean, they were both good at their jobs. They were both good communicators. One for sex education, other one for just get up off your ass and do something. If you can't do a lot, do a little, but do something. It's too bad, obviously, but nobody gets to live forever.
Oh yeah.
And they both did a good job. So, bon voyage.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
We salute you.
We salute you. I don't think there's anything else that we need to cover tonight, and we've done our 2 hours. And I think anything else that's left, I can just sort of save for next time.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, because we could go for another half hour if we wanted to, but let's just save it for next
Let's
time.
have
I think that's the
anime
right
corner.
thing.
There you go.
Anime
Piss
corner.
everybody off.
Yeah. Why not?
Look, the new season lineup is here. We got to do an analysis. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, after the show ends,
If Harry's
because
alive.
anime is stupid.
Yeah, you don't watch.
we don't
it, so
watch
why
anime.
Do you care?
Yeah, I don't watch anime.
Yeah.
Those are those cartoons, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. With all the big pictures on them.
Pictures with talking.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we did a good job of not getting too depressed, considering what a terrible day it's been.
It could have been a much worse day if certain things had succeeded. So
Yeah. Thank God Dr. Ruth wasn't up on that roof. Anyway.
She would have finished shit.
Speaking of pucker factor,
Yeah.
no, so, from never mind.
Sound of 100 sphincters slamming shut. Okay. And unless there's nothing else, is it anything else?
Nope.
Okay, this has been your Minions of the Zoo for Saturday.
There
Thank
you
you,
go.
panel. Thank you, chat. The Zoo